Hello YouTubers, today I'm going to show you how to sharpen an axe. This is actually my knife sharpener. It's the same concept as the Edge Pro knife sharpener. This is just a piece of oak and I put two stainless steel legs. It was a bit tricky to drill the holes on an angle, and I got some little silicone rubber boots, found that on the internet. Here I drilled a hole in an angle again, a bit tricky to drill straight, but I made the hole a bit sloppy, and I put some epoxy glue here, and it's just a piece of threaded rod. This is the tie rod end, I guess, or rod end they call it. This is the rod that goes in here, and this is a 5/16 rod, so I got a piece of Teflon. I got it machined so it's pressed tight fit in there. Plus I put epoxy glue to make sure it doesn't come off, and then I drill the holes. The hole's just slightly bigger in 5/16. This is a stainless steel rod, and there's a swivel here. Yes, again, same concept as the Edge Pro knife sharpener. This here is, I bought that off Wicked Edge. It comes off a Wicked Edge knife sharpener, and it's a diamond grit, 50 grit one side, 80 grit the other side. And this here is a neodymium magnet, really strong magnet. And I'm going to put a piece of duct tape here so I don't scratch my axe. This is my old rusty axe that I polished. I made a video of that last time. Yeah, this is a really strong magnet. You gotta be careful. Again, this is my knife sharpener, but I can sharpen an axe with it also. Usually I don't use this with a knife, but as you can see, the axe is not resting on a piece of wood, so I'm going to clamp it down. Okay, so I'm going to start with the 50 grit diamond. Of course, these are not real diamonds, they're man-made diamonds. Otherwise, real diamonds would not be affordable. And I've already set my preferred angle. Here is a long nut, and I set the depth, and then I put a locking nut here, just tighten that up with a crescent wrench. And this is the angle I'm going to use here today. Again, we're going to start off with the 50 grit, diamond grit. This stuff really cuts fast, as you can see. Okay, I'm all done this side here with a 50 grit. I'm really happy there's a big burr all along, so that means I ground right up to the edge. So now I'm going to flip it and do the other side. Okay, ready to do 50 grit, the other side of the axe. Okay, now I'm all done with the other side with the 50 grit, and I got a nice burr here. I can feel that from the other side with my fingernail. I got to make sure that I feel that burr all the way. That way I know I ground right to the edge. So now we're going to continue, and we're going to switch from 50 grit to 80 grit. Okay, now we're going to do it with the 200 grit diamond abrasives. Okay, this is what the edge looks like after I finished it with the 200 grit. Looking pretty good. But we're going to continue with the finer and finer grits until we can get this axe razor sharp. Now I'm going to continue, and I'm going to start with sandpaper. This is it's called PSA sandpaper. I bought them in sheets of 8 by 11, and I cut it with a paper guillotine. You can also use an X-Acto knife using a straight edge on a piece of wood. This is a piece here of 1-inch square bar aluminum. I got a machinist to machine a hole in here perfectly straight. Use a 5/16 round bar and a 5/16 hole so it fits nice and snug. The hole goes about 3 inches deep. I used epoxy glue. Here I used a 5/16 bolt. Again, there's a hole that goes a couple inches deep. 5/16 made by the machinist again, so the hole is perfectly straight. Put the 5/16 bolt in here with epoxy glue, and I bought this on eBay. I guess they're called plastic knobs. I don't remember what they're called, but they're pretty cheap anyways. So I'm going to continue with the 180 grit sandpaper, PSA sandpaper. I think it means pressure sensitive adhesive sandpaper. You can buy it online. Okay, now I'm going to continue with the 320 grit. Then I'm going to go to the 400 grit, and then to the 600 grit. Now once I reach the 300 grit, it's a finer grit, and I like to spray a little bit of WD-40 on the sandpaper, and this helps to flush out the particles. Okay, now we're going to continue with the 400 grit. And one thing I forgot to mention is that every time I change grit, I flip the axe over. So I do 400 grit one side, flip the axe over, 400 grit the other side. Do 600 grit, flip the axe over, do 600 grit the other side. Now the axe is starting to get very sharp, so I don't push anymore, because what will happen is the axe is actually going to cut the sandpaper. So now I pull to make sure the sandpaper does not get cut. And I do an X pattern, as you can see. Okay, this is what it looks like after I'm finished with a 600 grit. So the edge is getting a lot smoother, and the axe is starting to get very sharp. But this video is about getting an axe razor sharp, so we're going to continue to go finer and finer grits until we reach 1 micron. Okay, now we're all done with the 600 grit, so I'm going to change rods here, and we're going to go next step. We're going to go with a 15 micron, and then we're going to do the 5 micron, and then we're going to go to 1 micron, and then we're going to strop it with a piece of leather. So 15 micron is next. Okay, now we're done sanding right down to the 1 micron. Now we're going to finish it off with the leather, and I'm going to put some steel polish on the leather. Don't need much. Just a light touch, that's all you need. Okay, this is what the edge of the axe looks like when I'm all done. So when you get down to the 5 micron sandpaper, it really starting to polish the edge. And then the 1 micron polishes it even a little bit more. And then when I strop it with the leather strap with the steel polishing compound, that gives it even more of a shine on the edge. So this axe is really sharp now. Okay, by now I think you would agree that this axe is really sharp, but we're going to get it even sharper. And how we're going to do this is we're going to give it a micro bevel. So I'm going to make my pitch a little bit steeper. I'm going to tighten my lock nut here. So I just angled the pitch a little bit. So now we're going to give it a micro bevel, and I'm going to start with the 5 micron side. So I'm going to go with the micro bevel. I'm going to do the 5 micron, I'm going to do the 1 micron, and then I'm going to strop it again. Very light touch now this time.